Welcome back to Planet Tyro, folks. I'm your host, Donald Wonder. And this week, in this video, we're going to continue our discussion on the underrated and unappreciated movies of the late 90s. This is the second video. The first one we spoke about Dad Savage, and now we're going to talk about The Woman Chaser. Now, The Woman Chaser is a movie that I've been hearing all these critics saying, this is a great movie, you gotta see it, even though it's not on DVD, even though you can't see it for all these years. It came out in 1998 and you still couldn't see it. Well, now it was up for digital download, and I got my hands on it, so we're gonna talk about it.
Tyro Media.
Alright people, let's talk about The Woman Chaser. So The Woman Chaser is a 1998 dark comedy, film noirish movie about a used car salesman, a very shrewd used car salesman, that gets the inspiration to make a movie. We'll get more into the plot in a bit, but let me give you some background on this because it's kind of interesting. Now, first of all, the director of this movie, he's actually more well known for another movie, a very controversial movie about, he actually made a documentary movie about a man, true story, that had sexual relations with a horse and then died. That movie was called Zoo. It's very popular. You can actually watch it on YouTube for free. And I don't want to cast that as a shadow on the director. I think he picks very interesting topics to make movies of, because Woman Chaser is actually based on a book beforehand, and apparently this movie was actually done very competently as an adaptation of that. So I think before I get into it, I have to warn you guys, one of the things everyone kept saying about this movie is it is not appreciated on its first watch. It needs to be rewatched 1 or 2 times. And honestly, I can attest to that. And the reason why is because when you're watching this movie about this salesman who wants to be a movie director, first of all, the movie's set in the 50s and it's shot in black and white. So immediately you're kind of thinking, I don't know if this is very particular, very artsy-fartsy, they're trying to be retro or whatever. And it kind of works. But again, the first 20 minutes, even the first viewing on the whole, I feel like you're really finding the temperature of this movie. You're really trying to feel it out, because the guy's telling the narrative himself like he's a detective. He talks about like this and how he's directing the movie and how he sees life and how he sees people and how the movie business is. And it kind of just, I was feeling I can only speak for myself. But as I was watching the movie, I thought to myself, is this guy a dreamer? Is this guy just a loser? You know, is this meant to be funny? But as the movie went on, I got the feel for what was going on. Now this guy is, honestly, the more he went on to make this movie, the more the movie got to me. And that's because the guy is passionate. The guy is passionate about making this movie. And it is a dark comedy, because as he's making this movie, he's doing some horrible things to people. Now, not extremely horrible, he's just being a fucking arsehole, to put it bluntly. And he treats the women he meets like shit. He's so tunnel visioned about the movie. Everything else in his life just takes a back seat. And it does come to bite him back in the ass at the end of the movie, which is not really a big spoiler, but it's kind of like a snowball effect. But on top of that, when he creates the movie, he's giving really interesting narrative on the movie industry. Even though it's set in the 50s, it's actually applicable to today. And he's actually a very intelligent guy. So as I was watching the movie, I was like, you know what? Not only is this movie funny, not only is it intelligent, and not only is it twisted, but it's kind of unique. And for the late 90s, watching it now, 16 years later, it's still pretty, I don't know, it just kind of really grabbed me. And I could see why it was such a big hit in the festival. South by Southwest, I know we got like big, I guess it was a festival film at the time. But now watching it, it works so well today. And I guess you might see more of that stuff recently, but I still think this movie stands out on its own. I'm glad the director actually got the rights to the movie and released it digitally, because I do think it's a movie that should be checked out. Part of me thinks that it might be more appreciated by film nerds, people in film school, on a technical aspect, because as the director of this movie, you feel his passion, and I guess if you're making the movie in real life, I think you would appreciate this movie more. But I don't want to just box the movie and say it's only for those kind of people. What I will say though is, this is a movie that does much better on a second view. And I think you will want to watch it a second time, because I did. And honestly, I'm not that kind of guy. But by the end of the movie, I was like, you know what? Now I understand what the movie was doing. The second time, it was really great. And this is definitely a grower, definitely underrated. And oh my god, I forgot to mention something really funny. The main guy in this movie, I think his name is Patrick Warburton. This guy, you know what he's best known for? He's best known for playing Joe in Family Guy. You know the wheelchair guy? The thing about that guy, his voice in Family Guy, his voice is so prominent in Family Guy that whenever I saw him act, I couldn't get Joe out of my mind, because his voice is so cartoony, is so animated, and he's such a fruity character. Seeing him play a serious character in this movie, it's hard to make that detachment. And now it's too late. I mean, if you watch this movie now, you're going to think Family Guy so much. But you know what? This guy's a good actor. He did the movie well. It took me a while to take him seriously to make that separation from Family Guy. But he has a good voice, man. You know, as a narrator, it actually works. His voice actually works. And obviously he's doing well, because Family Guy's been a constant for this guy. The other actors in the movie are good. I don't think they're not. I don't know if they actually broke out into anything big, but they're all very competent. The acting is really good in this movie. The actual direction is very good. It's not the most artsy film, even though I said it's shot in black and white and set in the 50s. It works. The whole film on the package works. This movie works for what it was trying to do. Honestly, I was very satisfied with it, and I can definitely see the praise of it. I want to give The Woman Chaser a very high solid B. I'll say check it out, but forewarning, it might not be digested smoothly on the first go, because you're going to be feeling the temperature of the movie. Hopefully I've kind of softened that for you, because I do think this is a movie that is worthy of its praise. And I guess that's all I can say about it, people. Make up your own mind, but I would say check it out as a recommendation. High solid B, The Woman Chaser, good stuff. And you can see it for free on Hulu as well, if you're in America only. I had to buy it on iTunes. But you know what? It was a good purchase. And obviously I'm supporting a director and the actors and all that. So it's a good thing. But people, see it how you can. Links in the description. If you've seen The Woman Chaser, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, because I'm interested. If you didn't like the movie, you like the movie, whatever, I want to hear it. And that's going to be it for this week. It's going to be the rest of December. I might do something a little bit more fluffy and more entertaining. But you know, I got a four of my little quirky recommendations here and there. And this is definitely one that was recommended to me, and I should recommend it to you guys, because it's worth it. People, I said enough. Again, this is Donald One for Planet Tyro. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Until then, I'll see you on the next video, people. Have a nice day, evening, whatever. Peace.